I still look out for mentorship when I need something. I still contact other people in the industry, other brokers, other realtors. You never stop learning in this industry, right?
I think when it comes to mortgage agent versus realtor, obtaining a mortgage license is much cheaper than getting a real estate license.
You will need training, you will need development, and that comes at a cost.
Are you an entrepreneur or an aspiring entrepreneur? If so, this is the show for you. Welcome to Moments with Mo, where we talk about everything related to entrepreneurship, entrepreneurial success, struggles, mindset, spirituality, and everything you need to know to succeed as an entrepreneur. And in this show, we will bring on local entrepreneurs who have achieved massive success within their careers. Let's dive right into it. So in today's podcast, we're covering a topic that's actually the most asked topic by you guys. We're going over what it's like to be a mortgage agent versus a real estate agent, the entry to getting your license, the dropout rate, how to actually prospect for business, what to look for in a brokerage and the right questions to ask, and ultimately, how much money will you actually make and how much money is realistic to aim for in your first year. And joining us today is the broker owner of 𝐒𝐭𝐞 Mortgage. He's going to share tons of value with us. Omer, thank you for joining us. And did you ever think that after all the success you've had, you would be the first guest on my podcast?
This is definitely the highlight of my career. Thanks for having me, as your inaugural guest.
Yeah, how does that feel?
Fantastic.
So Omer, about 2.5 years ago, we did a video.
Yes.
And it was real estate agent versus mortgage agent. To both our surprises, we got more than 10,000 views. I probably, without exaggeration, got 100 emails asking for more on that topic. So finally, in your beautiful studio office, we have the ability to record this. Are you excited?
Super excited. We did that video a long time ago. I had no idea so many people would watch the video, right? And so many people contacted us afterwards. A lot of new agents that wanted mentorship or wanted direction. And, this is the best thing about this industry, right? There's so many people out there that will help you, right? And you take the help if you're getting it, right? Use it and become better at your craft. Even it's the same for us, right? Like I still look out for mentorship when I need something. I still contact other people in the industry, other brokers, other realtors, for coaching, or you never stop learning in this industry, right? So I'm glad that we're able to put this together. Thanks for doing this.
Dude, it's my pleasure. And we have a lot to talk about. Yeah. So let's dive into it. Let's talk about how over the past 2 years, how has the licensing changed? And more specifically, what should people consider and factor when it comes to choosing a brokerage?
That's a very loaded question, and there's a lot to unpack here, right? Last time when we did this, we explained the costs associated with getting a license. It hasn't changed as too much, right? So licensing fees, they're still around $800 and something. If you do the course and get licensed, it'll cost you somewhere around $1,500 to get licensed. But licensing requirements have changed. Educational requirements have changed. What FSRA and FSCO is now called FSRA. What they've done is they've implemented a new licensing standard. So before it was mortgage agent and mortgage broker. Now there's levels of mortgage agents. So there's mortgage agent level 1, mortgage agent level 2. And they did that because they want to make sure that when a mortgage agent is selling particular products, especially when it comes to mortgages that are outside the banking realm, so private mortgages, right? They want to make sure that these agents are fully trained on these products and they have the experience needed to sell these products. As some of these products can have a significant impact on clients' financials, and if you don't explain them properly, you can really put someone in a worse position than they're already in, right? So what they've done is they've put levels on there. So if you are a new agent, you would get a level 1 license where you'd be able to conduct mortgages through the most, regulated financial institutions. So those are the banks, the credit unions, and the alternative lenders, but you won't be able to do private mortgages, which is good. There's nothing wrong with that. And as you gain more experience, you get better at the job, then yes, you can apply for your license level 2. But until then, you're obviously working at a brokerage and your managing broker would have access to these private lenders and they'll be able to help you out. So not much has changed in terms of getting the license in terms of fees, but the process has changed a little bit and the education requirements have changed.
Interesting. And when it comes to real estate, it's roughly the same as well. But now we have a Humber course. So you have to enroll through Humber College. You have to do the course. And there's a big misconception that you have to do like a 3 to 5 year duration course. You don't. It's a go at your own pace type of course. I'm not familiar with the cost 100%. It's anywhere between $4,000 to $8,000. I highly recommend everyone watching to kind of go to Humber College's website and to see exactly what's going on there. When I got my license many years ago, when I was a young lad, it was 3 courses. And then you would get your license. And you would have a year to do 2 more courses, but you could start trading. One of the bigger changes now is that you have to do 5 courses. And then you have the 2 additional arcane courses, and then you get your real estate license. And the moment you get your license, you have to find a brokerage. You got to get reinstated. You got to pay your insurance. So it's a little bit more cost heavy now. I think when it comes to mortgage agent versus realtor, obtaining a mortgage license is much cheaper than getting your real estate license. Right. And that's one of the factors that people consider that, okay, I might as well get a mortgage license. It's a little bit easier, not easier. It's a little bit cheaper to obtain.
It's probably faster as well at the same time, right? How long does the whole Humber College course take?
I have not seen anyone do it sooner than 6 to 12 months.
Yeah. So that's a lot longer. With the mortgage agent course, obviously, you have to do the course either online or in person. But depending on how fast you're able to absorb that information, you could possibly do it within a month.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay, now let's pretend that you have obtained your mortgage or real estate license. The next step is to choose a brokerage. I understand that when you're studying for your courses, and correct me if it's the same for mortgages as well, they tell you to look for certain things in a brokerage. But that's just a few things. That's just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more to look at. What do you recommend a new mortgage agent look for in a brokerage when trying to select a brokerage?
Yeah, that again is a very loaded question. So a couple of things. Once you pass your mortgage agent course, you don't get a license. You are not able to get a license until a mortgage brokerage sponsors you. So you have to find a mortgage brokerage. The mortgage brokerage will sign you up. And, good mortgage brokerages will do some due diligence, look you up a little bit, make sure, your character and everything is reasonable. And it's someone that they would want their brand represented by, right? And at the same time, when you're looking at a brokerage, you also want to do your homework as well, right? Make sure it is a brand that you want to associate yourself with. Now, having said that, when you join a mortgage brokerage, the challenge here is that compensation is the number one thing that everyone looks at and thinks about, right? So let's just discuss compensation first. So compensation in the mortgage brokerage world is not very transparent. And I'm not sure why that is. It should be very transparent. There's some very nice brokerages out there that lay everything out, explain your compensation properly. But then there's also some brokerages that don't really give you a proper understanding of how compensation works. People generally think that when you sell a mortgage or when you fund a mortgage, you get paid a commission. That's true, but there's more to that, right? Commission is paid in different categories. So you get upfront commission on a particular deal. You can also get volume bonuses on a particular deal. And then there's some other efficiency bonuses and stuff like that you could potentially get. Now, where it gets really interesting is that different mortgage brokerages may have different commission structures with the banks and lenders. And that's because a lot of the banks and lenders pay differently based on how much volume they do or how much volume the brokerage brings in. So essentially what I'm trying to say is if it's a small brokerage, maybe a 4 to 10 man operation, or maybe even a 20 to 30 man operation, but they're only funding, let's say, $100 million annually, right? Well, that $100 million annually sounds like a lot of volume, but when you look at 30 different lenders out there, how do you distribute that? Right? Do you only fund 10 million with TD and 10 million with Scotia, 10 million with HSBC, 20 million with the Home Trust, and your volume is used up. But guess what? The big lenders like TDs and the Scotias and the First Nationals, right? They give you volume commitments of 50 million, right? Scotia's volume commitment is $50 million right now. So if you don't fund 50 million with them, you don't get the highest compensation rating. So you don't get as much money. So essentially what I'm trying to say is that you could potentially go to a brokerage that says, we'll give you a 90-10 split. So 90-10 split means 90% of the compensation goes to you as an agent, 10% of the compensation goes to the brokerage. Now, that same agent could go to another brokerage where they say, oh, we'll pay you 70-30, where 70% goes to the agent and 30% goes to the brokerage. Now, automatically, you think that the 90-10 is more money, right?
Yeah.
But it's more money of what? That's the question. And a lot of new agents don't ask that question because they don't know, right? So they don't know if that's 70-30 or 90-10, what's the actual compensation behind it? What's being split, right? Maybe the 70-30, the money that you're getting from the lender is actually more. The volume bonus is more, right? The total compensation is more. So it's not very transparent. You have to do your due diligence. You have to talk to different brokerages, different broker owners, and you have to find out. The first thing you have to find out is, are you getting paid the volume bonus? Are you getting paid the commission up front? Are you getting paid efficiency bonuses? What type of rankings does your brokerage hold with the lenders? Are you getting top tier compensation with the lenders? Right. So, for example, our brokerage, the Six Mortgage Group, we pay all the volume bonuses, full commissions based on the splits. We don't hold anything back from our agents. We're very transparent in compensation. You have to be transparent with compensation, right? Otherwise, a new agent, you'll eventually figure stuff out and you're not going to be happy. And we don't want that kind of reputation, right? So it's very important. Second thing, other than the compensation pieces, don't focus on compensation as much if you're new, because you will need training. You will need development, and that comes at a cost. So if you go to a brokerage that's offering you, 90-10 or 80-20 split, they're not going to offer you as much help on your deals because it's a very labor intensive job, right? When you have a deal on the desk and you need someone to walk you through it. So a brokerage that provides a lot of training, a lot of support, a lot of mentorship, they will definitely charge you for it. So you will get lower splits. But good brokerages, and there's a lot of them out there, what they have is they have graduating splits. That's what we offer. So when a brand new agent joins us, right, we take more from the split because we teach them, we train them. But as they start funding deals, as they start bringing their numbers up, their splits change. So they start making more and more. And that is what our goal is, right? That an agent will, a producing agent should be at 80-20 or more, right?
Sure.
So we get them there. So the first thing, like I've mentioned, is understand compensation. Second thing is understand that training, also is valuable. It's actually the most valuable. The third thing when you join a brokerage is, when obviously research the brokerage, see what kind of reviews they have. The other thing is, do they have offices available, right? Because yes, you could potentially work from home. That's fine. A lot of people do that. But there's something that's said about, having a professional place to go into, right? Where other brokers are working, where you can talk about your deals, your day, your underwriting challenges, and learn from that. The third thing, which I think is the most important, a lot of brokerages will push you and sell the underwriting model that we have in-house underwriters that will help you take care of your deals. You have to be very careful with that. And I have a very strong position on this. I say absolutely do not use that. Make sure that you're able to submit your own deals to the lenders and work with the underwriters. You may not be able to do that initially when you start, but you will after you fund your first 5 deals or maybe 7 deals or whatever your brokerage wants you to do. Do that and then start submitting directly. If you start using in-house underwriting, you will never learn. Not only will you never learn, but you'll never be able to build a relationship with the lenders and the underwriters. So what happens is, although the brokerage sells it as a beautiful service, but what's really happening here is that you're getting shackled. And you will always need that brokerage and that underwriter because you'll never know how to do the job yourself. If you ever move, if you ever go to another brokerage, Scotiabank won't even know who you are. TD won't know who you are. Your underwriters won't know who you are. So always pick a brokerage that supports you and helps you, but you do the work, right? Learn how to do everything yourself. That's very important. These are kind of like the most important things. The other thing is a lot of brokerages that offer office space where you can work out of, they may charge you a desk fee, right? So understand what the desk fee is. If there is one, is it worth it for you, right? You may be using an office on a daily basis. You may not be. Something that you need to consider. And lastly, super brokerages, right? So super brokerages would be the Dominion Lending Centers, right? The mortgage architects, the big brands out there, right? So if you join one of them, you'll notice that they all have monthly fees, right? So, and the monthly fees are negligible. They're not much, right? But those fees are for something, right? So you're getting access to systems and technologies, right? So you're getting access to products like Velocity, where you have a CRM system. You need a CRM system. Can you do the job without a CRM system? Of course you can. Will you be very effective? No. You won't be able to track your clients. You won't be able to know what deals are coming in and out. You need that, right? And then the other part is, who's paying your errors and omission insurance? How much is your errors and omission insurance, right? So depending on what brand you're with, make sure you find out. That's a long topic there. So hopefully I touched on most of the points that I wanted to.
That was really good because you're not finding that information on Google. When you go to Google and you search what to look for in a brokerage, you're not finding that info. So everything you said is spot on. I'm going to double down on everything. I'm going to add just a realtor perspective to it, right?
Yes.
So when you become a brand new realtor, ways to prospect, how to correctly communicate to showcase your value, how to do presentations, how to negotiate, how to position yourself as the leader to your clients, especially when you have no experience, is a battle. And you're not learning that in the course. You have to learn that on your own or on training, right? New agents need so much more training because new agents have the highest drop-off rate. Even through all the success we've had the past 2 years, it's still a 97% dropout rate for new agents. So finding a brokerage that has training, I'm a big believer now that we should have in-person masterminds. You learn best when you can ask questions when they're top of mind, when you can communicate, you can roleplay, you can have dialogue. At the same time, you should have the ability to touch those trainings and watch them online. There needs to be a cloud-based library for it.